Let's take a look at this Google AI Notebook LM. And I want to step back and just give you some real advice for creating information products when we're talking about using AI. And I also want you to realize where we're at. I mean, we used to have this guy, and now we have this Notebook LM. To create a new notebook, you simply just click on New Notebook, and then you start adding sources. What you're doing here, you're creating an information product, or the idea and the focus, the concept here of this video is think about all the things that you need if you're doing research to create an information product, and you're bringing all those in and you're adding sources. Google has developed this, created this Notebook LM, this one-stop shop for you to pull in all these resources to develop notes. But us, me and you, as information product creators, we can utilize this tool, and it's free, by the way. We can utilize this tool to bring in all these resources to create an information product. So step back and really watch this video with me and think about it. Let's focus on what it is that we have access to right now here and start thinking about how to add these sources. You can add sources from your Google Docs, Google Slides, all from your Google Drive. You can link to a website. You can directly copy and paste and add text right in here. Now there are 50, or the source limit is 50, so you have to be aware of the number or the amount of sources you can currently add. And again, this is the free version. Maybe later on down the road, if they have a paid version, that might change, and you might be able to bring in tons and tons of resources. Now, I did something interesting here. I went ahead and went up here and clicked on this little question mark, and it took me over to the notebooks information over Google Docs. This was really cool. I got down here to the bottom, and it's about the audio overview. And if you want to hear part of the audio overview clip, and I'll probably try to remember to do one in this as well, but I'm not really concerned or too concerned about the audio overview. But check this out. You can't interrupt the AI host yet to join the conversation. You can't interrupt the AI host yet to join the conversation. Again, there's a video in the description. You can check that out where I played a snippet, and I'll try to remember to play a snippet of what we create here of the audio conversation. The first time you hear it, it blows you away. But then after that, you kind of just realize it might just be a gimmick, and it's not really what we're focused on. We're focused on the sources. So the sources, the real advice here is to focus on bringing in multiple sources, even utilizing the AI, and thinking about what it is you're creating. And also think about what it is you're creating and where you're going to sell it. For example, a platform like Gumroad is designed to sell information products. It is meant to take and have and create your own road to sell information or to create digital products that teach people something or teach people a skill or solve a problem. You go and check out all their categories: business and money, writing and publishing, education. I want to focus on this one right here, test prep, and I want to use that as an example. Because what we're doing here, again, the focus and what we're thinking about here is creating an information product. Here, I want to create something around test prep. Check this out. Inside of Google Docs, this is connected to Gemini. You just need to connect your Google Docs account to Gemini, give it permission. It'll start showing up. Then you have this help me write. You simply click here and it says help me write. And then you enter what you want. And you can see it's popping up little ideas here saying a cover letter for a high school math teacher. Summarize this document. You're getting these ideas. It's giving you all this input. This is what we used to have. Remember, we started off with Clippy, like I showed you in the beginning of the video. We used to just have Gemini here inside of Google Docs. Now we have this Notebook LM where we're dumping in all the sources. But I want to go back and really think about this and think about help me write and using Google Doc and letting the focus be on starting with a framework or starting with an idea here about test prep. Thinking about something that we need or something that we're looking for around test prep, but then you can just go to Google and you can do this. Test prep guide to get a good paying job in Arkansas. So I'm here in Arkansas and I'm thinking, what kind of information product could I create to solve a problem? Well, how about a test prep guide to get a good paying job here in Arkansas that requires you to earn a certification to get that job? So it came up with this link. Of course, this is just Google search, but again, we're focused here on Google AI and the things that Google can give us to go out and find information. The 25 highest paying jobs in Arkansas. I just went to that website. Or if you go to that website, 25 of the highest paying jobs in Arkansas, you can see engineering, pilot, telemedicine, nurse practitioner, attorney. So some of these, right, you're going to need to get a degree or whatever. Class A truck driver, live chat, chaplain. I highlighted this one right here, claims adjuster. And it explains what the job of a claim adjuster is, but I want to focus on the certification that you need or what is required, maybe a license certification you need to get a license to be a claims adjuster. So I'm just going to take that back after sort of that preliminary Google search and then go back to the AI and say this. So then I'll just simply put in this and say, outline the requirements to get a claims adjuster job in Arkansas. What certification is required to obtain a license for this job? I'll simply hit create. The Google AI or Gemini at that point is going to go ahead. It's going to create something for us. And you can see here, this is the outline, and we'll go ahead and we'll insert that into the document. This is very basic. It's bare bones. But remember, we're just starting here to generate the requirements to get a claims adjuster job in Arkansas. Then we're going to go back to our notebook. We're going to go back to our sources, and we're going to go to Google Docs. Then it's going to load up all the docs that we've created in our Google account. We're going to insert that as our starting point. It's going to take that first source and it's going to start adding it, and it's going to create a summary. It's going to start suggesting questions. We could do frequently asked questions, create a study guide, but we want to add more sources. So we go back down here to Notebook Guide, or we can click Notebook Guide and it brings that down. We want to go up here and we want to click the button to add sources, that plus button, and we want to add more sources. And then we just want to go back and we want to look at some more sources. And here I'm going to do requirements to be a claims adjuster in Arkansas, and I'm just going to look for a few sources. Remember, we also have the Search Labs AI overview here, but I want to find some sources here like how to get an Arkansas Independent Adjuster license. So I'm going to take that. Then I'm just going to go up here to the URL bar. I'll bring that down so you can see it. I'm just going to copy that URL so you understand what I'm doing. And I'm going to take that back up off the screen. I'm going to go back to our notebook, and I'm going to go to a link, and I'm going to paste in that URL. It's now going to insert that as a source, and it's going to add it to the sources, the resources that we've been using to create this guide, to create this information product. That's the way we're using it. But it's taking all these sources. The NotebookLM is taking all these sources and building off of everything that we're giving it. You could also do this. You could also do this. You could go to Justia US Law, and you could look up the Arkansas code, and then you could just copy that URL, take that back, add it as another source. Remember, we can have up to 50 of these, and we can paste in that URL. Now we're actually going to have the Arkansas code or the laws that talk about being a claims adjuster. So we have real information here that we're putting in here, not just something that the AI is coming up with. And remember, the AI is just structuring or helping us structure this, right? We're not relying. We're saying, I'm going to learn how to do this. Then I'm going to show people how it can be done. Remember, you could also go out and find a real source. You could find a claims adjuster, someone that has acquired the license or passed the certification exam, and then you could add that expertise into this document if you were going to pursue this as an information product. But this is just focused on an example of putting the information, the data here inside of the Google AI and the power, and thinking, what do I need to add? How many different things can I add? And then what am I getting out of this? Then at that point, now you have these three resources. Now you start clicking here and you start having it generate information from these different sources. Here's going to generate an FAQ. I can click on the next one. It's going to generate a study guide. Obviously, the study guide is something that is really, really going to be able to help you, right? Here you can see the Arkansas Adjuster License Frequently Asked Questions. What are the requirements? To be eligible, you need to be 18. You must be an Arkansas resident or licensed in a reciprocal state, right? All these different questions, all these things from these real sources that we went out and pulled from. And also we let the AI do a little bit of work for us. And then here you can see a quiz, Arkansas Insurance Adjuster Licensing Study Guide. Essentially, it's created this guide for us. And then you can just go ahead and close that and then go back down to Notebook Guide. And I do like this. I'm going to go ahead and generate the audio overview because remember, this conversation is a lively, deep dive discussion that summarizes the key topics from all your sources. So this is going to be like having two real people start having a conversation around this, and it's going to help guide you into creating a better information product. if you could take any advice, or if you take any advice away from this, understand that this is an assistant. AI has always been and always will be an assistant. I'm not telling you that you're going to create and push a button here inside of this NotebookLM or any other AI. You're going to have to do the homework, or you're going to have to go back after it puts all this information together and validate it. That's why I mentioned earlier, I said, look, you could go find somebody, a couple of claims adjusters, have them proofread this document if it makes sense. Then you could go and you could hire someone, pay someone into licensed or certified or pass the certification exam and say, hey, I need you to proofread this. I need you, if you would, you can add your stamp of approval to it, give me a testimonial, stuff like this. This is what you're doing at the end of the day. You're trying to go out and find someone to validate this information, unless you want to actually do it yourself, or if you've already done this yourself. This is also about finding a topic that you feel comfortable with, or you want to follow the LDT model where you want to learn something and you want to actually do it and then you want to teach it. So in this case, the focus would be, hey, I want to become a claims adjuster. I live in Arkansas. Maybe you live in a different state, or maybe there's something in the country that you're in is a little bit different, but it requires a license or a certification. For me, that would go back to my IT experience. If I want to be like, hey, I want to show you how to get a certification in XYZ to get a high-paying job, then I could show people my certifications, my certificates that I passed the exam, then I could teach them tips, tricks, and hints. But it goes back to creating that information product, and I load up all those sources, all the sources and all the information on what's going on right now. I load that up in a NotebookLM, and it gives me that information. And of course, here you can press on the briefing doc. It's just another thing to bring in and have all this information. And you come down here and you can also click and you can view the chat, and then you can say, okay. And here you can see it popped up before I was done typing down here. It popped up the briefing document. Here you can see it pulled the legal requirements straight from the Arkansas code from the source that I added. But let's go back to our chat, because what I was typing in my chat was I want to see if it will tell me or give me the 3 hardest things to accomplish to get this certification. So I'll go ahead and I'll just ask that question and we'll see what it comes up with. Because remember, at this point, you're inside the NotebookLM, but you're still interfacing with Google AI or Google Gemini. So you're having these same conversations. And it's just like, it's really no different than what I do in ChatGPT, where I load up a bunch of information or ask questions and I go validate it. But you can see here that now we have this. Here are the 3 most challenging aspects of getting certified as an insurance adjuster in Arkansas based on the provided sources. I want to highlight that. Based on the provided sources. AI isn't making this up. Remember, inside a NotebookLM, you are given it sources, and it is only pulling from those sources and organizing the information. So here, you can click and you can save that to a note, because what you're doing is you're organizing notes, you're organizing your thoughts, you're building a outline here, you're building notes that you're going to use to take back, and then to build an information product. We're talking about taking all those notes, generating it in here. Then of course we could always go back up here and we can use this, or we could just click on this button up here to call or ask Gemini to have Gemini help us. And then we can insert that, create an outline. And here I'll say, create me an outline for a 3-module course for getting your claims adjuster certification in Arkansas. And then Gemini, at this point, we're going back and just using just Gemini, raw Gemini. We're outside of NotebookLM, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to create that outline for us. Then here you can see we have that outline, and it has some stuff down here. It's talking about what are the 3 topics covered in module 2, show more suggestions. Then we can simply just copy that, and we come back over to our document, and then we paste that in there. Now we have our outline here, or our title. This is the title of our course, Arkansas Claims Adjuster Certification Course Outline, Module 1, Introduction, Overview, Ethical Considerations, Module 2, Module 3. This outline is a general framework and can be customized based on the specific needs and requirements of the course participants. And then we have that. Then we can go back, and then of course that's going to be updated here inside of our source. So now it has all that information as well that we got from Gemini AI, and we're just stacking all these notes. Now we go back to that audio overview. I think something really cool would be if they gave you a transcript here. You can download it, and then you could put this into some type of transcription service, or you could make it a MP4, a video, and you could upload it to YouTube, and YouTube would give you the transcript for free again. Again, utilizing something from Google. But here we'll go ahead and we'll just take a little listen here for a little bit and sort of just sit back and say, listen to these two people or listen to this AI, have this conversation about all of the notes that we've added so far about this specific topic or this solution that we're creating for the specific problem of getting this certification for this job. Remember, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to show people how to get this high-paying job or to be a claims adjuster. So now we'll just sit back and we'll listen to this for a little bit because, again, like I said, when you hear this, if this is the first time, you're going to be wow.
All right, so insurance adjusters in Arkansas, it's more than just forms, right? It's about being there for people when things get rough.
Absolutely. It's all about trust, walking into what could be a really tough situation and being the one they rely on to figure out the insurance side of it.
You sent us some great stuff for this deep dive. We've even some real job postings. Our goal today is to really break down what it takes to get licensed in Arkansas.
And what?
Yeah, you can see there that kind of got messed up again. None of this is perfect, but we'll listen to it a little bit longer.
Better place to start than with the law itself. Arkansas Code, Section 2364209.
Okay, confession time legal code isn't usually my idea of a page turner, but this is actually kind of interesting. Like, there's this part about needing a license for each type of insurance, property, casualty, workers' comp, waste, that.
Well, it all comes down to specialization. They want to make sure adjusters are experts in their field, especially when things get complicated with a claim. It's not enough to just see what happened. You have to understand the policies too.
Makes sense. Wouldn't want some...
Makes sense, right? Like, you can see how that conversation, and you're going to get to that in the notes, but when you listen to this conversation, you can just sit back and say, let me listen to this conversation, take that in, and you can see that it messed up there. There was like a glitch, and that could have been my internet as well, right? Like, if I go back and play it, it may not be there. It may have just been as it was playing through, but there was a little glitch there. And I've heard some where it like inserts just like weird things, like it'll say the end, and then they'll keep talking. So, it's not perfect, but again, this is experimental, and this is where we're going. And to think if you had that transcript, but just to sit and listen to this for 6 minutes and to center yourself on the solution that you're creating for the problem, and then you hear like the specifics of what he said, hey, understand that there are some specific things that you need to learn if you want to accomplish this task. And that's what you're doing when you create an information product. Again, real advice, focus in on the problem and utilize these tools like Google AI to really bring in all these sources of information and then help you correlate that information, help you bring it together and really pull the best parts and pieces out, like the 3 hardest things that you're going to experience when you try to get the certification, the 3 hardest things that you're going to experience, the 3 hardest things that I'm going to solve for you when you buy my information product, right? The reason that you are going to buy this product is I'm going to solve the biggest 3 hurdles that keep you from getting this high-paying job in Arkansas. Focus on the aspects of what the tool is designed to do. Don't really get caught up too much in the hype, like thinking you're going to create some type of podcast by clicking a button. I mean, let's be real, right? Let's keep it real about what we're trying to do with this AI, with being able to bring in these sources and let the AI assist us and help us make the best information product that we can so we can help more people solve their problem. All right, because that's what we're trying to do. If you got any questions or comments, or you've checked out and you've done something cool with NotebookLM already, let me know in the conversation or in the comments. We can have a conversation there. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.